The infamous pi cycle is projected to cross in only 10 days from now, meaning this legendary bull run that we're in could be over in 10 days from now. And in this video, I'm going to give my honest opinion on this analysis based on the facts in the charts. Welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're new, welcome in. If you want to have less stress and more success, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and click that like. If you do those three things, you're entered into our drawing for $100 Bitcoin. Subscribe, bell, like, less stress, more success. We're jumping straight into it, and we have new information that we're going to be analyzing in this video. In the past videos and for many months, I've showed you this pi cycle indicator. Okay, this pi cycle indicator is very simple. When the orange line crosses above the red line, it indicates the pinnacle market cycle top, as it did right here back in December of 2017 when Bitcoin was at 20K. In fact, if you scroll back in time, it's done it for the past 3 times that we've had a cycle top. The reason why that's important is we are fascinatingly close to having a cross. In fact, we projected the exact date based on the next indicator that I'm going to show you. This is brand new information. I'm going to show you how to pull this up on your chart as well, but let's get into the facts first. This is the pi cycle indicator. I just changed the colors, and you want to see the red cross the yellow. Well, in fact, you probably don't want to see the red cross the yellow. And in fact, if you extrapolate this information, we are projected to cross in 10 days from now. In fact, we're projected to cross on April 8th, 2021. 10 days from now, we are projected to have our cycle top, which means that we're going to be entering a bear market for the next 1 to 2 years, and that this extraordinary bull run is over. And now I want to give my honest opinion based on the facts and the charts. Is this even possible? Should we really be worried about this? And if it's true, what should you do right now to prepare? So there's a lot to dive into in this video, and I want to start with saying that we're going to look at this 10 days out. We're going to analyze this information that we have here, and we're going to look at it from several different angles, gathering all of the facts, and then we're going to make our assessment and give our honest opinion. Before we do that, you're in crypto because you want to make more money, right? So far, you're not really happy with your results, but luckily for you, we put together a course that will help you so much today. If you still haven't gotten your course, you need to go over there right now and get your course. This will help you tremendously. CryptoCreaUniversity.com, the link is down below, and you're just gonna click right here. 3 seconds later, you'll have your course. CryptoCreaUniversity.com, click right here. Now let's start to analyze it, because we're looking at this pi cycle. We're saying, hey, in 10 days from now, it's gonna cross. In order to accurately predict what's gonna happen, we need to look at the past, okay? And when you look at the past, we're gonna understand what was price action like 10 days prior to the previous tops. So we'll start in 2017. 10 days prior, we was on the day of December 5th, 2017. And you may remember crypto at this time, and you may have been buying in crypto at this time, right around $13,000, $14,000, right? Do you remember those days? Well, Bitcoin went all the way to 20K, had its market cycle top, and went into a bear market for the next year or two. Now, what I'm noticing right off the bat is during this period was with absolute certainty that we were in a super cycle. How do we know? Look at the level at which we were rising. It's not like we were rising at a small and steady slope. This was like we were climbing up the wall, the face of a cliff. Okay, super cycles are, in a nutshell, absolute parabolic movements. Okay, super cycles move very fast, very rapid, and oftentimes before a cycle top, you'll find a super cycle in any market, whether it's crypto or Forex or the stock market, bonds, doesn't matter. If there's a cycle top, you almost always see an absolute super cycle right before, which we can all agree is represented here. I mean, our move from, let's say, 5,400 up to 20 happened really fast and was the kind of a snap of a finger. So we have that to assess, and we can take that information and we can look at present day and say, hey, there is no certainty that we're in a super cycle right now. In fact, for the better part of the past 4 to 5 weeks, we've had some choppy action with heavy resistance at 60K, right? So right away, I'm saying, okay, we're projected to cross in 10 days from now, but the super cycle in my opinion, hasn't started yet. Now, with all due respect, I am on record in many videos stating for various reasons why this bull run is going to end significantly sooner than everyone thinks. It's a very unpopular opinion. There's not a lot of people on my side of the fence, which usually is a good sign for me. And based on some facts in the charts, this is what I believe. I know that we would get a lot more views and a lot more clicks if I called for Bitcoin to go to 300,000 in this cycle, or 400,000 or 500, or whatever crazy number I seem to pull out of thin air. If I made a video, it would get a ton of views. But that's not our stick here. We're trying to change lives, and I'm trying to help people not make all the mistakes that I have over the past couple of decades in trading. And this is one of them, okay? So 2017, we come to the conclusion like, hey, we were in a super cycle. This was in the midst of a super cycle, towards the tail end of a super cycle. It makes sense, logic sense. Let's look at the previous two. One in April 2013 and the other in December 2013. Both of these were pi cycle tops. A couple facts about these parts of the charts. Now, there's a lot of talk about, hey, is this considered one cycle? Is it two? This is clearly two cycle tops, but just from a textbook standpoint, we entered a bear market here after this top. When you enter a bear market, it's essentially its own cycle. So this is technically two cycles in one larger cycle. From a textbook standpoint, the bear market officially starts when you have a death cross and prices below the 200-day. Those two things need to be true in order to have a bear market. The exact opposite needs to be true to be entering a bull market. It's that simple. So we do have a top here and a top here, and we're looking at 10 days prior. And we just want to understand, hey, what was price action like? What was the market structure like 10 days before our top? And if we're looking here, you can clearly see that there was no choppy action. In fact, we had some choppy action in March, from March 6th up until March 18th. So for about 2 weeks, give or take, we had some choppy action here, but we were in our super cycle. There was no denying it. We were in the midst of our super cycle during that 10 days in, okay? We were in an absolute super cycle. How about this next one? And you can clearly see, yes, we were going parabolic. We were absolutely parabolic. We were in the midst of our super cycle, and we crossed here. We went into a bear market. We actually went into a bear market for the next year or two. So given that, here's what I'll say. Here's my honest take. One thing to keep in mind is this pi cycle was created recently. It wasn't created 10 years ago, and it's been correct for a few times. It was created recently, and it was made to be correct for the past few cycles, meaning they used an algorithm that correctly predicted each cross, which is fantastic, but we have 3 data points. If this had 27 data points and was created 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, and it's had a bunch of data points since that's proven correct, then we could pay much closer attention. But given just the facts that we just outlined, again, in this channel, we don't like to use our emotional opinion. My emotional opinion, Bitcoin's going to $1 million. But what do the facts in the charts say? The facts in the charts say, no, it's not going to $1 million in this cycle. It could potentially go in the next cycle. So in 4 or 5 years from now, we could potentially reach that, but there's no chance of it happening this cycle. So using the facts, we can say, hey, there's 3 data points. They were all not back tested. They were all created recently, and the mathematical equation was finagled for it to be accurate. This right here is our very first time where we're trying it out live to see how accurate it really is. In my opinion, could it be the market cycle top? Yes, but how probable is it? How likely is it? I would say right now, just based on the facts that we're using here, it's not very likely in 10 days from now, this is our cycle top, because I do not see any facts in the charts that say we're in a super cycle. And I know from experience that a lot of these bubbles burst with a super cycle right before it. So given those facts, I'm a little bit hesitant, although we can't completely throw it away. We need to continue to monitor the facts over the next 10 days of how this is going to play out. If you want to be a level-headed trader and investor, this is what I recommend. Always look at both sides, always keep an open mind, always look at the facts, always look left, and take emotion completely out of it and keep your head out of the news. The news is the poison that's going to destroy your trading. Trust me, do not pay attention to the news. The news reacts to price action. Price action is king. If you want to read the news, you're reading in the past. You're reading everything about the past, and it's just all made up stuff to try to make some storyline out of what the price is doing. So the news is just plain and simple, it's poison, all right? We've got this super cycle. We're gonna be paying close attention to it. I'll be keeping you up to date as we go. What I would like you to do is make sure you're subscribed right now with the bell on, all clicked, and like this video. And also go watch this previous market cycle that we did some analysis on, the previous pi cycle top. In this video, we go more into depth with what we're going to look for in terms of confluence. So we talk about the pi cycle and we talk about 3 or 4 other things that we're gonna watch. Once the price cycle crosses, we're gonna look at these 3 or 4 things and see what the facts are. So go watch this video. It's right here with the title right here. I'll link it up here. There'll be a little box that comes up. Click on that box and watch that video. Now, what I want to do is give away some money. So what we're doing is we're not supposed to have ads in our videos. YouTube started putting ads even though we said not to. And because they didn't correct it, we turned our ads on. Now they have to give us money for those ads legally, and we're just going to give all that money back to the community. I think it's a cool thing to do. So if you want to be entered into that, we're about to pick our winner right here in front of you. If you want to be a part of it, it's very simple. There's a couple things you need to do. Subscribe, bell, and like. Make sure you do that right now. Get your free course, cryptocreauniversity.com. Go do that right now if you haven't done so already. Follow on the Twitters, and once you've done those things, you only need to comment your favorite thing about this channel, your Bitcoin address, and my name, Steve. You can see all the legal rules here. YouTube is not involved in any way, shape, or form, and there's a whole bunch of things you can click on here. But let's get to the winner. We're gonna pick 2 winners. And here's what I'll say. Make sure you follow the rules, because there was something like 1,500 comments put into this system and only 369 actually followed the steps. So you've got a pretty high probability of winning if you just simply follow the steps. So let's go ahead and pick our winner. We're gonna pick 2 winners today. This person didn't follow the instructions. I'm sorry, Rick, but make sure you follow the instructions. This person, yes, this person followed the instructions. We got the Bitcoin address right here. We're gonna go ahead and copy that because we're gonna go ahead and pick 2 winners. So passion to help others and teach. So shout out to the winner here from Poland. I love Poland. I've been to Poland. Shout out to you. You're gonna have $100 of Bitcoin as you watch this video. Now let's pick one more. So I copied that one. Let's pick one more winner. Okay, Fluffbox, Fluffbox, really? So Fluffbox is the second winner for today. So congratulations, you'll be having $100 of Bitcoin. I want to leave you with a note, and this note is going to help you tremendously in trading. What I want you to focus on, a lot of people try to focus on, hey, let me learn from somebody successful and learn all the successful things that they did. This will only get you so far in life. Which will get you further in life is find somebody successful and learn all the mistakes that they made. Then you become incredibly successful. Trust me. That's why my courses are so successful. I'm not trying to plug my courses here. I just want to be honest. I made a ton of mistakes. I started trading almost 20 years ago or 20 years ago, whatever it is, when I'm 15, 16 years old. And I just made every mistake in the book. Literally, for years, I followed the news, which is why this channel really heavily tells you do not follow the news. I did that for years and it just was poison. The other thing is, I felt like I always needed to trade. I felt like I always needed to make a trade and look for the next thing and look for the next shiny object. That's another reason why we take a couple steps back on this channel, and I try to keep you level-headed in every single video we make. And these are key components to trading that will make the world of difference if you just follow these things that I did wrong. Instead of trying to look for what I did right, look for where I really screwed up and the quote-unquote failures. And really, if you look at the big picture of life, there's successful people and there's unsuccessful people. And the only real difference is successful people fail way more than the unsuccessful. You may think it's the other way around. You may think unsuccessful people have failed a ton. In fact, they've failed almost never because they're afraid to take that risk. That's why they stay in their little bubble and they don't achieve the success they want. Successful people fail a ton. And I can tell you, and I don't want to label myself as successful or unsuccessful, but I will say this, I failed a ton, a lot, so many times, more than I can count. And this channel is all about teaching you not make the same mistakes as I did. And again, that's why my courses are so successful. They're really raw, they're really pure, is really buttoned up and they focus on all the things that I did wrong so you don't have to live through all those years of mistakes. I'm sorry that was long-winded, but I know this is going to touch somebody's life, and if it does, then it's a very big success for me because that's my whole purpose. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you are the Bitcoin winner, and I'll see you right back here on the next video. Peace and love to the fellow underdogs.